Greetings, my fellow eagles and the entire world. This is Eagle Emmanuel Mensah with inspirations and guidance from Eagle Helen Mensah in the non physical world, coming into your homes and your minds with a message of empowerment and enlightenment. Today is the 13th of May in the year 2024. And it is a beautiful day, a wonderful day. Therefore, let us rejoice and be glad in this wonderful day. Today, I'm going to speak to you on the topic your negative emotions are not hereditary, but effects of negative beliefs. I repeat, your negative emotions are not hereditary, but effects of negative beliefs. The world we live in, if you take almost every human being and you ask the person about most of the negative emotions that the person normally demonstrates or shows, the answer will be that they got it from their family line. So negative emotions such as anger, in particular, some people believe that it is in their blood, it is in their family line. Therefore, because they were born into that family, they got those negative emotions from that line. And so it is with all other negative emotions. If you ask almost every human being, and even some of these things in the scientific world, psychology and other things, we believe that they are hereditary. We inherit it from our parents, our forefathers, our ancestors. But today I'm going to present to you a different perspective, which is actually the truth about who we are. And as I have already explained in my previous episodes, negative emotions are the effects or the demonstration of the disagreement between the thoughts of you in the physical body and you in the non physical state. And so, negative emotions are not necessarily hereditary, but they look as if we inherit them from our forefathers or our parents because we are born into their hearts. And as children, when we at the beginning, we do not process things, but we observe our parents, and then we mimic their behavior. And so, before we came here, our parents have already developed, formed their beliefs, their way of thinking. And as I also explained again, once you harbor or you practice thoughts that uh, are against the thoughts of your higher self or your soul, which are only positive, then you feel these negative emotions. So the way it looks as if we inherit these things from our family members or our parents is as a result of our early life. Every child, right from 0 to 7, you don't process things. You look at the society, your parents, and you download these things, you observe them, and then you store them into your system. And so by the time you grow up, all your processing or thinking is based on what your parents were doing. And therefore, because they have formed their beliefs and they have already disconnected themselves, or they are only operating in misalignment with their higher self, we automatically copy that from them. And so we practice this trail of thoughts or line of thoughts. And therefore, since we are taking these thoughts or beliefs, a belief is simply a thought that has been practiced over a period of time and it has become chronic. So since we think along the beliefs of our forefathers and our parents and our family members, it is natural that we also disconnect ourselves from our higher self. And at that point, since you are no longer operating in agreement with your source or your soul, you demonstrate such negative emotions. And so the line of thought that brought about your grandfather or your grandmother's anger or worry, habitual anger, habitual angry person or habitual worry person or habitual any of the negative things, you have you have automatically downloaded it, and therefore you will also practice it in the same way and you will receive the same emotions. And so when you look at these things, yes, it makes sense that we say we inherit it from them. But in reality, it is not that we take it from them as if something that has been handed over to you. But even if there is any inheritance, then it is the thoughts or the beliefs that we inherit. And since we have inherited the beliefs, we've downloaded the beliefs from them, then automatically we will exhibit those negative emotions. And so, if you are a habitual angry person, do not live in that or use this inheritance or hereditary as a way of living in that. You can get out of it. And that is by training your mind, changing your thought process, and begin to look at things in a way that are in alignment with your higher self. And as soon as you become one with your higher self, all these negative emotions fades away. And so you are a very powerful being. The human being operates both at the physical and the non-physical levels. And these two parts must be in agreement. If these are not in agreement, then you feel the pain in your physical side because the physical side depends on your non-physical side. And so all the emotions that we show, if we become intelligent and realize that you have a mind that is different from your mother or your father's mind. They don't think for you, but you don't think for them too. But because you pass through their hands, you might have actually, not that you have downloaded, you have what we observe them and copy them, accepted their beliefs. Some of these beliefs too were taught to us. It is your responsibility to begin to retrain your mind and think in the positive. And once you think in the positive, you bring yourself in alignment with your higher self, and all these negative emotions fades away. And so if you look at all the treatment, all the measures, all the kind of things that psychology or science have prescribed as a way of dealing with anger and all these negative emotions, doesn't work. If you take pills, they only block out your consciousness for some time. You will sleep or they make you, yeah. But as soon as the power of the pill is gone, you come back to your normal state because it is about thoughts, it's about thinking. If they use any other means, it doesn't work. And if you try to force yourself without looking at it from training yourself to think in a positive way, by forcing yourself and at the same time thinking in the negative way, then you are recreating the situation. So you see that most people, they will go through the therapy, they will go through the counseling, they will go through all these things, but the more the situation becomes bigger, it is because the cause of that particular situation has not been identified or it's not been looked at the right way. And so you can pray that you are praying. I know a lot of people that go for prayers, they go to other places to offer sacrifices, that some of their negative emotions, behaviors, such as anger in particular, people have tried and tried and tried. It is not going. Why? Because if you are praying in fear, that means you are adding more. You are disconnecting yourself from your higher self, from God. But if as soon as you begin to train your mind and look at it from the positive side and know that God is holy, as in the religious term, God is positive, and therefore the only way you can become one with God and demonstrate everything that is in God is to think in the positive way. Then that you will see all these things fading away. And as I explained the other day in one of my episodes, prayer is very important. If you are praying and you pray in the form of appreciation, thanksgiving, giving thanks to God, but not talking about the problem itself, it means you are moving your way or you are taking your mind away from the problem. And as soon as you take your mind away from the problem, you get a connection with your higher self. At that time, you are bringing yourself in alignment. It begins with a gradual process, and it is more or less a journey. So you cannot recover one day. But as you keep on doing this, you train your mind, and it will get to a point that your negativity, your negative thinking begin to fade away, and your thinking in the positive becomes your natural state of being, which is normally the truth. And so, do not indulge in negative emotions under the explanation that you were born into it, you inherited from your parents. You did not inherit anything from them, but you learned, you pick up their thoughts, their line of thinking, their beliefs. And since you are thinking exactly as they were thinking, then you will exhibit exactly as they were, the emotions that they were exhibiting. You see, so we are more than all the things that we are talking of. Everything that science has prescribed never worked. All the prayers that we have been offered in our churches, in our religious circles, as the solution or looking as a way of solving our emotional problems never worked. It is because we are pouring more water on rocks. There is the central point, there is a central factor that leads to negative or positive emotion, and that is thoughts. And thought becoming one. Your thoughts and the thoughts of your soul, your higher self becoming one, coming into agreement. And your soul or your higher self is positive, and therefore it has no concept of negativity. And so begin to train your mind. Your emotions matters. They are not the work of evil forces or the devil, but they are in ourselves. They are in our system to warn us, to remind us of our position in relation to our higher self. And so don't be afraid of your negative emotions, and don't try to fight your negative emotions with force, but begin to address all your negative emotions with intelligence and knowledge as I'm explaining it to you. You do not have to take any pill. You do not have to do anything apart from getting your mind into the right frame of mind. You were born positive, or you were born holy, righteous, right from the day you were born. All the things that we exhibit, all the things that we call sin and other things, negative things that we are doing, we learn all of them on the earth here. The day you were born, you came into your parents' hands, then they begin to indoctrinate all these things to you. So you observe them and you download all these things into your system. But you can flush all these things out, or not flashing them out, but you can replace them as soon as you begin to think on the other way. The other way don't have effect. As a matter of fact, your mind can contain only one thought. And therefore, the thought that is dominant here, dominant at the moment, once you pick a different thought, that dominant one becomes dormant, and the new one becomes the dormant as you practice it. And so, the only way you can change your negative emotion is being careful and selective in the things or the thoughts that you develop or you form about anything. You are supposed to look at everything from the highest point of view. That is looking at it through the eyes of God. Everything is good. Everything is wonderful. Even though you see it as not good, but put positive on it, and those negative aspects will fade away. And so you were not born with anger necessarily as something that you inherited. But the anger, the worry, and other things you are getting is a kind of your system, a message from your system telling you that you are either moving away from your soul or you have already gone further. There is no connection. And that is when people go into depression and other things. People even go up to the point of taking their lives. You say, and so be wise and live as an intelligent and a powerful being. You are an incarnate of God. You are the individualization of God. And that aspect of God that became you, you still have connection with you right here as you are on earth here. And the day you will leave this earth, you are not dying, but you are going to join that part of the universal presence that we call God. And you become one with it. And so you are not here to indulge in negativity, but you are here to cooperate with the forces of nature, to cooperate with God, and co-create with God bright and beautiful, wonderful experiences here. And so that is my message for you. Do not, do not accept that falsehood that your negative emotions are inheritance. No, they are part of your mechanism. Just as when you buy a car, the car comes with all the functions, the lights and everything. You will not say that your car is showing a light or that and therefore it is something that is bad. If your gas tank is empty the light is showing, you won't say the car is a bad car. But it is just showing you what has been built into it to help you understand it, to operate. In the same way, your fear, your worry, and other things are are evidence from your internal guidance system, telling you of your state as far as, or your relationship, as far as, or your relationship with your inner being, or your soul, or God, whatever you want to call it. That is my message for you. And I say, may the overshadowing presence of God that keep the stars in the open, such that they do not fall on us, and keeps the planet in their orbit, such that they do not clash with one another, keep you, lead you, and guide you. Open your mind so you'll be illuminated, you'll be enlightened, you will see the truth and be awakened to the power, the internal mechanism, the pure person that God has created you, such that you will walk in alignment with God, that you will co-create beautiful and positive things on this earth. And all of us co-creating beautiful, wonderful, put together, we create a beautiful and a wonderful world that all of us enjoy. The world becomes a better place. So thank you. And once again, this is Igel Emmanuel Mensah. And I thank you for your time, and God bless you.